It's the River Rat. I'm here at the Galveston Naval Museum here at the Seawolf Park in Galveston, Texas. Just gonna walk around and tour around and look. This is the SS-244 Cavella. Of the Gato class submarine. So, very interesting. Well, you can only imagine what it was like to serve on this boat. Beautiful scenery here at the Seawolf Park. Look at that conning tower. Well, that is cool. Here at the front of the submarine, look at that conning tower and the observation tower. Now we're going to go into the bowels of the boat. Well, look at the size of these torpedoes. I mean, they're huge. Well, you can only imagine how hard it was to load these. Man, this is cool. Never complain about how small your toilet is at the house. Oh, and look at these portholes to come through. I'm assuming this is probably the part of the ship's galley to cook for the crew members. I mean, if y'all get a chance, y'all definitely need to come check this place out. Look at the bunks. Not a lot of room to sleep. I imagine every room had like several purposes. Well, that's some captain's quarters. Man. Executive officer, first lieutenant, and engineering officer. Man. Chief petty officer's quarters. Just think of the feel in here. I mean, not a lot of room in here. Ship's office. Oh, into the bridge of the ship. Hope y'all can get a look at this. All those wheels probably to do its depth, and all the gauges on the walls. Man. Can you imagine being in this boat underwater? I bet it was an experience like no other for these men. Very tight quarters. Radio communications. Here we have the ship's galley, where I guess all the cooking was done for the men in the ship. Look at the tables where they could play checker and backgammon, I think it is. I've never played the game, so I'm not good at it. Man. The menu. Those are recipe cards for stuff they would cook on here. Man, that's too cool. And here are the crew's quarters, where the regular crewmen would be. Man. Ooh, that would be some tight quarters. We're in the crew quarters and lockers. I'm assuming they're bathrooms, toilets, sinks. Any mechanics that watch, how would you like to work on that diesel engine? Oh, you can only imagine how loud this area got when that sucker was going. Ooh. You got lathes for machining. I mean, everything inside here. Instructions on how to do everything. That is cool. This is the forward engine room. Number one main engine, 1600 horsepower. Main generator, 1100 kilowatts. 1 and 2 freshwater distillers, 1 and 2 air conditioning units. Man. Number 2, main engine was removed during conversion to make room for the auxiliary equipment. Ooh. So at one time it had 2, during World War II it had 2 engines, then was converted down to 1. Man. More engines. 2 banks of 8 cylinders, each arranged in a V design. Driving a 1100 kilowatt generator. Overhead valves. Again, more of the instructions, like to rig for dive, all kinds of stuff in here. This is just too cool. I mean, look how tight this is in here. You can only imagine how. Oh, this is the maneuvering room. Oh, that's too cool. This. Now we're in the aft compartment where they more torpedo tubes and some bunks. So I guess some guys slept back here too. The aft torpedo room. And bunks for 12 men after. Huh. That is cool. This is a Mark 14 torpedo, standard submarine launched anti-ship torpedo, World War II. That is just pretty cool. Well, this concludes the tour of the submarine. Just a very cool tour. Very cool place to come look at. Now I'm fixing to tour DE-238, the USS Stewart. It's a Edsel class destroyer escort built in Houston. It's designed to be anti-submarine surface vessels. They protected slow-moving convoys. They're unarmored and thin-hulled. They got the nickname Tin Cans. This one served as a convoy escort on many trips across the Atlantic. This was a very important ship, and it's time to protect those convoys going across to get supplies. So, look at the size of those propellers and the guns. Man, those are gorgeous. And we're entering the ship. Up on the deck, entering the first area, the ship's store. Boy, you can imagine this is probably important to the guys, especially if they're smoked. Storage areas. Engineering office. Washroom. Showers. Right now we're in the cruise washroom is what this is. The toilets. You definitely couldn't be bashful on a ship. That much is for sure. As you walk around here on the deck, boy, think about being on this ship. Racks full of depth charges, ready to be launched. Depth charges on the back, constantly on the lookout for submarines. You know, imagine what life was like on these boats going across the Atlantic, knowing that death was everywhere.
Just match your the inside.
Boy, think about manning this gun sitting off the back.
Well, after Vietnam. Location on one side.
I imagine in his day this thing was just loaded down as much as they could with depth charges for anti-submarine. And you know, imagine guys up on these areas like with binoculars looking, scanning for any signs of submarines. As you come around on deck, even if you're not a veteran, this is still a very cool place to come look, explore. Inside the galley, where all the cooking was done for the crew. Steam pots, griddles, ovens. And come out through here, repair station, tools used to repair the ship. Man. I can imagine these guys coming out through here, the hustle and bustle that was probably going on daily.
Before we go like way up here,
I'm gonna go back in there in a minute, but I kind of want to go up here on this deck first. Just 'cause I want to see this view. Well, look at the size of those shells. See the anti-aircraft guns that were mounted here. Then as you go on up to the bridge area, this would have been full of signal flags used to attack to other, or to talk to other ships. Big signal light that they would use to communicate. The main drive bridge of the ship, wheelhouse, or it's a pilot house. Just a gorgeous example of the ship. Just show you all the captain's quarters. Very cool, very spacious on this ship compared to the submarine. The main radio room, so captain could get immediate access to the radio messages. The ship's office. I'll just show you, like, it goes down and down into the bow of the ship. Right now we're in the war room on the ship. So a lot of the planning was done in this room. Officer's stateroom. As far as for the officers, not bad. Officers' pantry, where the officers were fed from. Then we'll head on down. It had an ice cream machine. Pretty luxurious for its time. And this looks like mess hall. For the crew. Buffet line to serve them. The scullery. I bet many a man hated working in the scullery washing dishes. Then you had the crew's quarters. Pretty neat. Imagine there was always activity going on in this room. And then war cruise quarters, I guess for the chief petty officers, replica of the ship. You can only imagine how hard in and out of these beds. Continuing back onto the deck, up towards the front of the ship. Look at these. I'm assuming they would be launched pneumatically out over the side of the ship, probably flared or something, I really don't know. I mean, can you imagine manning this gun, firing at a German U-boat that's been sighted? Oh, I can only imagine. Okay, these are called hedgehogs. They're an anti-submarine weapon with 24 small mortar bombs. They carried about 30 pounds of TNT and exploded when contacting a submarine. Could be launched about 250 yards forward and to the side of the ship in an elliptical pattern. They were lined to ensure that the bombs hit the water at the same time. Unlike depth charges, there was no explosion or turbulence unless a bomb hit. Huh. Boy, I imagine how fast they had to reload that. Ooh, that's the size of those chains. I mean, you can only imagine if you were a member of this crew, just how much y'all prepped to do all this. Very unique. If you ever get a chance to come here to Galveston, to come to Seawolf Park, definitely come check this out. This is a river rat. I'll see you down the river.